there, I'm Libralita, and this episode of Libralita Logic, we will be going over Brandon's prose. His simplistic style is a topic of discussion in the fandom, but more often, they are criticized in the broader fantasy community. They are compared to the lyrical style of someone like Patrick Rothfuss and his, still unfinished, Kingkiller Chronicles. I often find these discussions to be difficult to engage with because while I do enjoy analyzing media, prose and technical quality of writing has never been my strong suit. But I still want to put out my layman's opinion out there. One frustrating thing I find about the discussion is that people really define what they mean by prose and what it means for them to be good or bad. This could just because I'm not an English major, so most people engaging in the discussion are working off knowledge that I don't have, though I wouldn't completely rule out that people talking about the quality of Brandon's prose are really saying I do or do not like his prose, which saying something is good or bad is generally an evaluation of quality rather than a statement of enjoyment. But hey ho, what's even the point of definitions? Let's just let literally mean figuratively. I define prose as an author communicating an intended idea to the reader. Then I define prose of a high quality or good prose, an author effectively communicating an idea to the reader. And then prose of low quality or bad prose is an author failing to communicate an intended idea to the reader. Yes, these definitions are broad, but I did that intentionally. Let me illustrate with an example. Say we put a group of writers in a room and task them with writing that a dog is in a room. They could write it however they wanted, but the goal was to convey that a dog is in a room. My definition for good prose would allow for both minimalistic and maximalistic styles of description to be considered good. If one writer writes the dog is in the room, and another spent 200 pages describing every speck of dust in the room and every hair on the dog, both would be considered good, along with every level of description in between, as long as they conveyed that the dog is in a room. Brandon Sanderson often falls in the minimalist side of the spectrum, though his works do have descriptions, and honestly some of these descriptions can go past utility into poetic and even beautiful. Another element to this definition is intention, because I wanted to include stories with unreliable narrators, or a story that is intentionally confusing. The narrator may tell the reader that there is no dog in the room, but if the reader is aware that the narrator is lying to them, then that meets the criteria for good prose. If the author intended to make the reader confused, then that is the intended idea, and they successfully conveyed it. This does kind of break my dog in the room example, because that's not the intention of the challenge, but you get what I mean. What would be an example of bad prose is a writer that was tasked to convey that a dog is in a room, but all they write is the girl is in the ocean. This completely fails to convey what the author intended. Most examples of bad prose is usually never this extreme, but they do exist. Being a channel all about the cosmere, I think it's pretty obvious that I both like Brandon's prose and consider them to be good under my definition. But as I said in the beginning, discussing the qualities of prose has never been my strong suit, so I'm more than happy to hear other opinions or corrections on my ideas. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and remember, there's always another secret. While I do enjoy analyzing, while I do enjoy